Swadika, good morning. Welcome to Newsline. It's Monday, January 18th of 2016. My name is Cholapansa Narula. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Beginning with today's segment, Thailand moves forward. The government has finished drafting the laws and regulations to combat illegal fishing and human trafficking in the fishing sector. The installation of the vessel monitoring system for over 60-ton gross vessels has reached 90% completion. The government has been continuously inspecting fishing vessels and factories in terms of legal compliance. 5 factories have been closed, and the culprits of illegal fishing have been prosecuted. Government officers who have been involved in illegal fishing will receive the maximum penalty. The government has also worked with foreign countries under their agreements and assisted fishing workers who were victims of human trafficking. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has stressed that the government's goal for tackling illegal fishing is not only to increase Thailand's credibility, but also to create sustainability in the utilization of marine resources. The issues of illegal, unreported and unregulated or IUU fishing in Thailand are among the government's main concerns. After receiving a yellow card from the European Union or EU, the Thai government has launched a multi-pronged campaign against IUU fishing in the kingdom's waters. Let's take a look at this special report.
The European Union suggested that Thailand still lacked action on sustainability of fisheries and aquatic resources in accordance with its goal of the FAO. Their suggestions include propose to improve the Fisheries Act, the new legislation in accordance with international laws on fishing, and apply strong and appropriate penalties for IUU fishing, revise the draft national plan to prevent IUU fishing or NPOA IUU fishing in accordance with Thai fisheries with measures to conserve and manage sustainable fisheries. Precipitate Thailand's fishing vessel monitoring system or VMS, especially the fishing vessels outside territorial waters and fishing vessels greater than 30 gross tons.
เมื่อออกเรือไปในทะเลเนี่ยเราก็ต้องมีระบบติดตามเรือที่เรียกว่า VMS หรือ Vessel Monitoring System นะครับเพื่อจะได้รู้ว่าเรือเนี่ยไปทำการประมงในพื้นที่ไหนผิดพื้นที่ไหมผิดช่วงเวลาหรือเปล่านะครับเมื่อจับสัตว์น้ำมาเรียบร้อยแล้วก็จะเข้ามาจอดที่ท่าเรือตามที่เรากำหนดไว้
Strengthen the traceability system throughout the production line by examining various data in the catch certificate and other documents of importation more efficiently, as well as the latest issue regarding illegal labor in the fishery sector. The effort to solve the problem under the Command Center for Combating Illegal Fishing or CCCIF that comprises of core agencies including the Royal Thai Navy, Department of Fisheries, Harbour Department, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and various other related entities has begun. We need to ensure that all sectors are conformed to the correct system, which means developing the system for regulating Thai fisheries as a whole.
ทะเลเป็นของ international ของสากลของเราเองก็เช่นเดียวกันนะครับอะไรที่เป็นสิทธิอธิปไตยอะไรที่เป็นอำนาจอธิปไตยของเราเรื่องทรัพยากรของเรามีสิทธิเต็มที่เพราะกองทัพเรือก็ตามกรมประมงก็ตามหน่วยงานเจ้าท่าก็ตามหรือผู้ที่รับผิดชอบต่างๆที่เกี่ยวข้องกระทรวงแรงงานก็ตามทั้งหมดอยู่บนพื้นฐานกฎหมายทั้งสิ้นเรามีหน้าที่คิดดูแลบังคับใช้ในกรอบกฎหมายเดียวกัน
Moving on to our next story, the first Vice President of the National Reform Steering Assembly, or NRSA, has insisted that the formulation of national strategies is crucial for the country to move towards a developed economy. NISA First Deputy Speaker Alongkorn Pulabut said the Assembly's reform plan was drafted in accordance with the framework set by the so-called 5 rivers and will be implemented over a time frame of 1.5 years. Mr. Alongkorn said that the NISA's reform plan will be implemented both before and after the general election, adding that its mechanisms will ensure the continuation of national reform over 2 decades by the next administrations. In doing so, he said the new constitution or other legislation should include provisions related to the national strategies. He stressed the importance of participation from all parties as well as the people's respect for the national strategies. The Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, has completed its review of all sections under the new draft charter. On the last day of the retreat in Phetchaburi province, CDC spent time reviewing the contents of each section of the draft charter. Currently, there are 216 sections, but it is speculated that the CDC could remove some later. During the discussions, the charter drafters decided to include Section 7 of the 2007 Constitution in the new draft, a decision which CDC Chairman Nitai Ruchupan said would make the Constitutional Court have the final word to end any conflict related to the country's supreme law. The CDC also resolved to stipulate in the draft charter that any future amendments of the Constitution will not be allowed, if such a proposal will lead to the overthrow of the constitutional monarchy system, while changes to the charter that relate to the monarchy and the power of all independent organizations must go through a public referendum. The SME sector is considered a driving force of the country's economic growth. Today we have the privilege of speaking to Kun Salini Wangtan, the chairperson of the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Bank, or SME Bank, about the bank's fund for small businesses. She is on the phone with us now. Sawasdee ka.
Sawasdee ka.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. First of all, I'd like to ask you about the SME fund your institution is currently establishing. Tell us a bit about the objectives of this fund, please.
The SME, you talking about the rehabilitation fund, isn't it? Let me try to explain the background of this fund.
Okay.
During this economic slowdown, many SME are having problems with their business. So the government set up the program we call turnaround program to help these SME, and have assigned the office of the SME promotion, which I will call OSMET, to be the responsibility agent of this program. May I pardon me that the SME bank is not the responsibility agency for this program. It is the OSMET, and I happen to be the Director General of the OSMET also. For this program, the OSMET, we will invite about 10,000 SME who need to improve their business to join the program. And what are we doing with these SMEs? That we will send experts to their factories or to their workplace, try to analyze what is happening to their business. What is the problem of their business? Will it be because of the product is obsolete, or if it is the product is all right, but the packaging is not attractive, or they need some kind of marketing help. So these are the analyses that OSMET will provide to these SMEs. And some of the SME, we imagine that they will have some kind of financial problem. So what we try to do is that try to coordinate with the creditors, which in this case we think that should be the commercial bank, to do the debt restructuring for these SME. In addition, some SME may need more liquidity in order to survive. So, and they cannot borrow from the banking system because they are very big. So this is where the OSMET has set up the rehabilitation fund to lend the money to these SMEs.
I see. So for SMEs facing a liquidity crunch or some financial problems as a result of a slow economic growth, what are your policies at the moment for the allocation of the fund? Is there any particular business sector which you will be giving special attention to, or will you be providing support to businesses, SME businesses across the board?
No specific business sector, but we invite SME to participate in the program. The experts who analyze their business plan, and the most important thing is that it must come out that these SME, their business is viable, truly viable. You see, in order to be able to borrow from the fund.
I see.
And they can borrow up to 1 million baht because the amount is not high, because this fund is aiming for the small SME. And this is just some kind of bridging loan to help them survive the economic crisis.
I see. So far, how many businesses have gone under analysis? How many businesses, according to SME and OSMEP, have been reviewed in order to receive the help?
At the moment, we are in the process of starting process. Now we received, OSMEP, we has accepted about 4,000 SME from government banks which would like to participate in this program. We are now in the process of analyzing their business.
I see. So will it take a few more weeks, perhaps, before the money is injected into these SME businesses?
I would say that there will be some kind of, I'm afraid that there must be some kind of procedure before the OSMEP can lend the money out, because this money is a kind of soft loan, long-term loan, 5 to 7 years with no interest rate. So this is very generous. Therefore, we need to analyze the business of the SME carefully and prove that they are viable before we inject the money in.
All right, so meanwhile, let's go to the SME Bank now. Tell us a bit about some of your ongoing SME development projects which was implemented last year. Share with us a few details.
Last year, the bank has gone through some kind of recovery program. And now the bank has made, I would say, about 1.3 billion baht in net profit. So the bank is strong enough to continue their mission for SME. What we try to do this year is that we will continue to lend to small SME who cannot access to the private credit. In addition to that, the government has assigned the SME bank to do what we call the venture capital program. That is injecting equity, not loan. This is equity into startup SME or small SME who has high potential to expand into the medium-sized one. The size of the venture capital fund is 2 billion baht.
2 billion.
Yes, and we hope that this fund will help strengthen the many of the small SME, because some of these small SME, they have high potential and would like to expand their business, but they do not want to borrow, or some of them cannot borrow because they do not have any collateral left.
Mm-hmm. While the SME Bank has been, helping SMEs to go through some of the weaknesses, especially, finding marketing channels or to make their products more interesting, more competitive, how has that been? Has the situation of SMEs in this respect improved, or you see other weaknesses?
You mean the SME themselves? Are they improved, or are they getting weaker? Is that the question?
Are they actually improving in terms of competitiveness through your help in the past many years, or do you see other weaknesses still happening in the SME sector in Thailand?
Actually, the macroeconomic situation is very, very important to SME because SME do not have much of the cash reserve in their hands. They depend on the sales. Okay, so this year we have seen some kind of at least not worse than last year from the SME. The recovery we have not seen it yet, but they are not getting worse.
All right.
The cash flow is coming, and in certain sectors such as the one who are related to tourism or to some kind of like a health or beauty, they are doing very well.
I see. Now, for those who wish to seek assistance from the SME Bank, what do you suggest they do?
I think they call the call center of the bank 11357 and ask for the what kind of service they want from the bank. If they want to apply for loan, or if they want to join the venture capital program. And I would like to encourage those young people who are thinking to start up their business. We would like to the bank would like to become more active in this market that is helping the young people to start up their business. If you have the plan in your head and then you lack the fund, you can call the call center of the SME Bank, and they will send some kind of expert to help you.
All right, Kun Salini, thank you very much for joining Newsline this morning. That was Kun Salini Wangtan, Chairperson of the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Bank, or SME Bank. We'll now take a short break. Don't go away just yet. When Newsline returns, we will be back with ASEAN and beyond. Stay with us.
Gifts of bounty fill the trawler still. I dance in thanks to thee.
Welcome back. You're with us right here on Newsline. In ASEAN and beyond today, Burapha University has organized a special scholarship contest program to prepare students for the ASEAN Economic Community. Undergraduate students who are planning to pursue a higher degree in business administration at Burapha University are invited to take part in the GSC Smart Biz Model 2015, which was recently launched. Dean of the Graduate School of Commerce at Burapha University, Assistant Professor Banpot Virunraj said that the contest is aimed at selecting candidates with good personality, knowledge, business acumen, and the perfect qualification to help with the public relations of the graduate program. He added that the contest is divided into two parts, including the presentation of a business plan and the evening attire contest, with 12 finalists from nationwide educational institutions already selected. Assistant Professor Banpot said that while the Graduate School of Commerce has been successful in offering up-to-date curriculum needed for the regional integration of AEC, there remain some worrying issues about undergraduate students who need to be more prepared and better informed about other 9 countries of AEC in order for them to compete more successfully with counterparts from within the region. NASA has reported that a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket blasted off from California to put a climate monitoring satellite into orbit. The 22-story tall rocket lifted off through thick fog from Vandenberg Air Force Base on the central California coast at 10:42 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Technology entrepreneur Elon Musk's SpaceX then planned to attempt to land the rocket on a barge in the Pacific Ocean, which would mark its second milestone a month after it nailed a spaceflight with a successful ground landing in Florida. After sending the U.S. and European-owned Jason 3 satellite on its way to orbit, the rocket's first stage separated and turned around in an attempt to touch down on a platform floating in the Pacific Ocean, according to SpaceX officials. Being able to land at sea gives the company flexibility to recover rockets used on more demanding missions, such as launching heavy satellites when boosters do not have enough fuel left to reach land. A new world record for the biggest dog yoga class was made in Hong Kong, with 270 pairs of dogs and their owners practicing for just over half an hour. Led by dog yoga teacher Suzette Ackerman, the participants massaged, twisted, and stretched their furry friends in a series of poses. Ackerman said that in the fast-paced city, Dogga was a great way to bond and relax with your pets. The record-breaking attempt has yet to be confirmed by the Guinness World Records, but organizers were confident that the record had been broken. The previous record for largest Dogga class was set in San Diego on January 25th of last year, with 265 people and their pups turning up. All proceeds from the Hong Kong event are going to the Hong Kong Guide Dog Association. Interesting activity, that is. And that's all the time we have for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please write to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. Today we say goodbye with a giant panda cub, Bebe, making his public debut at Washington Zoo. I'm Chalapan Sanrula. We'll see you tomorrow. Swadee Ka.